And we're off.
We are. Slight delay there, it looks like, by KarenKonou. That's going to put... Is that a her or a him?
I don't know, but with the name Karen, I'm going to assume it's a she for now until I'm corrected. But they will actually sync up the runners here in just a second, so that won't matter too terribly much.
Yes. All right, here we go through the most boring rooms in the game.
Series is exciting to the point where people don't even practice it anymore.
You keep using that word, exciting. I'm not sure it means what you think it does.
I mean, you know, in some parallel universe, I'm sure exciting means what I am ironically expecting it to mean.
Or are you being unironic?
Only in the universe where there's no such thing as a paradox.
I think we've lost 90% of our audience at this point, so let's keep going. We got...
Definitely going to drag you over to get a race started.
Exactly, we got Karen. No steam there. Still no steam. Oh, one steam, but 49.29 is a great time to get to that final room. Let's see if she can finish it off. 45.39. And a 42.28.
Yeah, PGA got a little bit steam trolled on his way up. Steam RNG can really make a huge difference in a series time, but that last room was very, very clean from PGA.
Yeah, I was kind of getting a little steamy over there.
Well, you know, that's what happens when Samus tries to blow things up.
Yep.
So here we'll see our first potential divergence. Once they get up to the parlor, we'll probably know if either of them is running Moonwalk. Moonwalk does save about 7 seconds over the course of a run, but that comes at the cost of making a couple of fights more difficult, Ridley and Phantoon specifically. Looks like PGA is using Moonfall. Karen, however, is not, so PGA is going to make up a few seconds in the early game here.
Definitely, assuming he gets this Moonfall. Looks like he has. Oh, but he gets clipped there. That is going to cost a second.
That platform on the far right, you can only clip through it if you go from the very, very top platform right below the door at the top, or you turn as you're falling through it.
We do have a bonk there by Karen on the way to the Morph Ball. And PJ making it right over, but taking a couple of hops in. This is still very close, only about 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the race.
Karen going for a slightly different strat there, meant to bonk the ceiling tile and then fall straight down, just shooting all the way down to the bottom. Missed the tile on the ceiling, so kind of got out of position there. PGA going with the more traditional construction zone strat. But the time between these runners pretty consistent so far.
And do we know what each of these runners are running on? I know PGA is running on a SNES Mini. Do we know what Karen runs on?
I do not offhand. I don't have access to that information.
It looks like it might be console to me, which is an inherent advantage. I believe 6-ish seconds throughout the course of a run.
I don't know. It kind of depends. Really, it comes down to input delay more than anything else on the tool you use to actually play the game. There's really no difference in like the amount of lag or anything like that, because anything that reduced amounts of lag are banned.
I believe the SNES Mini, however, runs at 59 point something, whereas the console runs at 60. So the SNES Mini is running slightly slower.
Oh, so
and I do believe you lose 6 to 10 seconds. Yeah, you lose 6 to 10 seconds, somewhere in that range, I believe, over the course of the run, depending on how fast your PB is.
Chad says Karen is running on original hardware, so playing on
there you go.
NTSC SNES. So a little bit of a hiccup there in the climb. Ooh, and Karen accidentally just kind of, I don't know if there's a term for Kojak for a regular missile, but doing basically that and not having the missiles, having to go back and farm the fleas back there to be able to open up the door to BT cost a good, I'd say, 7 seconds to get one.
I have not heard of a term, but I think this is time to make one up.
I guess we can just call it the Karen. Shoutouts to Karen. Shoutouts to Kojak. We need another K name, so we have one for power bombs too. Of course, a term might actually already exist. I just haven't been in this community long enough to know. PJ having a little bit of a rough BT there, missing the head explosion skip, as it were. Karen getting through Alcatraz escape without too much issue. And getting the Terminator set up, it looks like. Ooh, interesting damage boost strategy there. It's going to give Karen a little bit more health moving into the Green Pirate Shaft.
And I think what we have to do is we have to call it Careject. Kojak and Careject.
I mean, I suppose.
It works. It fits the theme.
The fact that both these runners are just kind of bodying through the Green Pirates here in the Green Pirate Shaft is a really good indication that neither of them is going to be running new route. Generally, in new route, you want to conserve energy your whole way through. Not all that surprising when we looked at their PBs and saw they were both old route, but runners do test new speed tech on a very regular basis.
Because as a speedrunner, aren't you always trying to take it to the limit?
Something like that.
Run into the danger zone. You didn't think you were getting away without some singing in this stream, did you?
Oh, never. PJ having a little bit of issue getting through the door there to get to early supers. Cost him a few seconds. He actually went back through the door transition again. If you miss the mock ball, you can actually do a short hop on the green platform right before the crumble blocks.
However, I don't believe PGA is well versed with short hops.
Well, that does pose a problem to that theory.
That is. But he is continuing to run as the lead intensifies. Getting the swag ball.
You know what the biggest downside to any percent is?
What's that?
We're not going to see either of these runners have an attempt at reverse slinky.
That's assuming both of them know how to do reverse slinky.
Reverse slinky is like the swaggiest of all strats in Super Metroid.
And it's all about the swag, ultimately.
Still waiting on our swag bingo race tournament.
Looks like we got PJ not going for that mock ball strategy coming out of Big Pink. As Karen picks up Spazer.
Yes, I do believe that because these guys are in group Spazer, they have an agreement in the group to all pick up Spazer because Spazer is the best beam, and that comes straight from Antinomy, aka Seppi. I believe there might be a few clips on Twitch out there of him confirming that.
Are we sure that Antinomy is not just a meme that somehow made it into a human body?
I mean, he is also known as Antino Meme, so it's very possible.
I think we need to watch out. I think the memes are becoming self-aware. And yep, there we go. PGA grabbing Spazer as well.
Spazer does give a few inherent advantages to the run. Spazer does a little bit more damage than just the regular beam by itself, and also it kind of makes double chamber, which in my opinion is the real worst trip in the game, a complete and total joke, because hitting the platform is no longer, or hitting the gate is no longer a concern.
However, it does lose you menuing time when you're taking on Phantoon.
Yeah, that's assuming these runners aren't going to be using Doppler. I believe PGA is going to be using X Factor, but I'm not familiar enough with Karen's runs to know whether she will do X Factor or Doppler.
It would surprise me if PGA does a Doppler.
Karen with a very nice charge setup for the Craig quick kill.
Getting that Craig quick kill, very important.
Looks like Karen did not want to take Craig to prom.
She did not want the basket full of puppies.
Looks like we're going to be getting a high five here pretty quick.
Slap it! And we've got PGA headed into Kraid here. I do know that Kraid has been his kryptonite at various points in his speedrunning career. We'll see how he does here.
Little known fact, PGA is your son, is he not?
He is. That is my child right there in the race. I'm very proud of him. This is his first race of the tournament as well.
Is it fair to say that that I'm going to have to be the impartial one here?
Oh, of course. I mean, he did send me a Father's Day card for Father's Day. Oh!
PGA missing the quick kill there. He shot just a little early on that first super.
It is. That is unfortunate. But Kraid is down, and he is continuing along as Karen makes it out of Kraid's lair with that fancy super swag mock ball, turning off Spazer as well, headed down the elevator.
The actual most optimal time to be turning off Spazer is going to be when you're doing Ocean Fly. Your momentum doesn't stop. Doing it on an elevator works as well, without losing any time, because you continue to move while the screen's fading out. So if you're already going down, you're still in motion. So as long as you find a time that you're in motion to do it, you're in a good position. It's interesting that Karen chooses to do it here instead of an Ocean Fly, because you can actually kill that Sova without a charge shot. And without having to crouch down if you have Spazer. And you can also, like I said, get through double chamber without any issue with Spazer equipped.
I think what it really comes down to, though, about turning off Spazer, is that a Samus in motion tends to remain in motion.
Unless acted upon by an external force.
Like Phantoon?
Pretty much.
Space Ghost.
Space Ghost, coast to coast.
Got PGA headed out as well, opting not to go for that mock ball and keeping Spazer on. The question is, has he practiced at all with Spazer on?
That I am completely unsure of.
All the runs that I've seen lately that he's run have been drunk, so I don't know if he's run with the Spazer on for those.
Drunk percent is such a meme category.
Drunk percent is going to be the new fire category. It's going to be the new all forts from SMB3.
Not aware that you can kill that Sova with Spazer without having to crouch down, trying to shoot a missile and actually losing it. It's going to cost a little time when he goes back up through the high jump E-tank room, because he's going to have to kill that Sova to be able to get through the door.
Look at you knowing the names for things. I just call it Little Fiery Guy.
Well, see, and those things actually have a disputed name. Some people call them Sovas, some people call them Novas, and other people have Cosmic Brain names for them.
It's all about the custom names. So we have PJ picking up missiles, about to grab the energy tank, while Speed Booster is achieved by Karen.
I do appreciate that these guys in Group Spazer have agreed to pick up Spazer in their runs, because now we have all of their runs are going to have the best item and the best beam in the game.
But are they all going to have the best meme?
I honestly, I doubt it. Seffi's not in Group Spazer.
And I know you've got to be disappointed right now because there's no Blat timer.
I am indeed disappointed there is no Blat timer. The Blat timer is undefeated in this tournament, as far as I know. I believe it's 4-0.
I do believe I should have convinced PGA to use the Blat timer.
You never underestimate the power of the Blat timer.
That would be quite interesting, though, with that big of a differential. If we gave PGA the Blat timer and somehow Karen ripped, would you attribute that to the power of the Blat timer?
Absolutely. The very first race of this tournament was won by a Blat timer for a very similar reason.
Do you think at the end of the tournament that it will, if there is nobody with Blat timer, that somebody will take it on? Do you think that level of superstition will exist by the time we get to the end?
That level of superstition always exists. You never doubt the Blat timer. Blat timer is Bay.
Just like May?
It's gonna be May. PGA coming up on Speed Booster here as Karen is getting ready to go through the Norfair farm room and go into Frog Speedway.
But gotta go fast. If you're not first, you're last.
Faster, 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 faster.
Push it to the limit. Alright, we'll see how these farms go. Getting that farm, didn't look like he saw that super missile at first, having to go back, reverse his course of action as Karen heads up the elevator.
I think he actually realized that he had enough supers to get all the way through wrecked ship, and was like, oh, I'm not going to do it, and then saw the super, and then doubled back for it.
Alright, and looks like Karen is going for the Slag Spark here. All about them Slag strats.
Yeah,
we'll
picking
see how
up
that
the
works
3D
out.
gives them the ability to do Alpha Spark safely.
Oh, but no spark there. Forgetting to shoot.
It looked more like a conscious decision, just kind of not even going for it at all.
I don't know.
Which definitely is not a bad idea. That gives you more health going into wrecked ship.
But it was charged up.
That may have been just so that
never
Karen
know.
didn't bonk the door going into the room below Spazer. Which, interestingly enough, is the name for the room below Spazer.
Alright, Karen headed down the power bombs. PGA back making his way downtown, down Bubble Mountain. That's all I've got. Going for a moonfall there. I don't know if that actually saves any time, but it definitely looks a little swag.
If you can set it up quickly, I believe it is one of those frame savers. Maybe 10 to 20 frames.
Frame saver sounds like something that you'd install on your computer along with something you actually wanted to install. Then it spies on you. Sees all of your history. Nobody wants their internet history being public.
Karen getting bodied by that cack spike on the way up.
Cat spike! Right up the bum. Do you think PGA is going to try for the Slag Spark here? Energy's a little bit riskier.
I don't know.
He is. He's going for it. I know that setup right there.
It's an interesting choice considering the health situation. Karen setting up to do Ocean Fly here. Doing it in 2 parts.
Oh, but he is not. He is going to miss that first jump.
Shoutouts to Goop.
Karen sparking across the
Super
ocean.
drop from that waiver.
Coming up for PG on another one of those very difficult parts and very frustrating if you miss it on the first go, the hero shot.
But if
see
he's
if
just
he can get it here.
I'm not sure if he's aware that he has
Oh, he is not going for hero shot.
phaser up for it.
He is not going for it. And this is definitely the kind of frustration that you just... Everybody who's ever failed once on Red Tower just knows the amount of frustration that this causes. Getting up on the third try, not bad at all. Will not lose that much time as Karen takes on Space Ghost coast to coast. It's like this will be an X factor here.
Getting a slow pattern in the first round here, which is pretty common from Fantoon. He's a troll.
Does get it after the sunrise though. That I personally feel getting it after sunrise for runners, at least above 50 runners, is far more important than getting a fast.
And a 2-round, but that was a slow. If PGA can get a 2-round with some better patterns, he can make up some ground here. The Fantoon patterns, the slow is 24 seconds, the fast is 2 seconds of movement from when he starts moving to when he opens his eye. If he can not get a fast and handle it properly, he can make up 22 seconds here in a matter of no time.
It's all about those eyes being wide open. With eyes wide open in the wreck ship.
Ooh, shoutouts to Goop again from PGA.
Ooh, for a little bit of difficulty charging and making that spark there. Accidentally running into those moat missiles. Will be a little bit safer of an endgame, however, for PGA. We got Karen climbing up the wreck ship, about to go up for that Attic Spark. We've seen mixed results with Attic Spark so far. I've seen some top runners get it, and I've seen some top runners miss it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether Karen does a right side or a left side. Looks like setting up for a right side Attic here. I believe left side is technically the optimal strategy, with a right side with speed keeping better. Also, key hunters are rude.
They are. All right, Karen headed to bowling as PGA enters into Space Ghost Lair.
PGA not having PGA
looks like he's not going for the X Factor. I think he might be going to keep Spazer up all the way up until Plasma.
Definitely an interesting choice.
What'll be real interesting if he makes the decision to keep it after Plasma. Could he be going for a meme run here?
Oh, PGA forgetting that you can't actually do X Factor if you have one beam.
So that's what happened. That's where lack of experience comes in.
Yeah, to do an X Factor, you actually have so the special beam attacks you can only have charge and one other beam equipped. In this case, PGA has both wave and Spazer, so he can't utilize any special beam attacks until he.
Oh, he still does not know that. That is unfortunate here.
Karen making her way out of the wreck ship, and
PGA is still fighting it here. Looks like PGA has caught on here. Going to go with those Dopplers, losing a little bit of time here. This is unfortunate, calling himself out in the chat. And Fantoon is down, but that is going to cost a lot of time here in this run.
Well, at least now he knows for next time that if he's going to pick up Spazer, he needs to unequip it before he gets to Fantoon.
He does. He's going to be having nightmares about Spazer. looks like Karen going with a little bit lower energy than I'm used to being comfortable with here. 178. Headed over to Batoon.
Yeah, so really the health situation is not too dangerous. Ideally, at a minimum, you need about 100, give or take, to get up to the path to get to the aqueduct, doing the spark in Mount Everest, because you have to have 29, or your spark ends at 29. If you jump, it takes about 50. If you don't, it takes 55 to 60. So somewhere in that 80 to 100 range at a minimum, and then you want to make sure you're going to have enough health to not die in one hit to Batoon.
And Batoon can be trolly.
Yeah, with 200 energy, though, Karen is in a really good spot to get through Batoon. As long as she can get past Batoon, she'll be sitting in a good spot to get the E-type.
Are you going to call it now? How many round Batoon for Karen?
I'm going to say... That's hard to say because it depends on the pattern. Could be a 1 round, could be a 2.
We've missed the attic spark from PGA.
Yeah, he got trolled by the sparks. Sparks of doom. The broken glass. That does happen a lot in Wreck Ship.
I think it's safe to say that a lot of things in this game are absolutely trolly. Holy troll moly. That might be an
understatement. Karen missing the X Factor.
Oh my. And PGA headed to bowling. He is, as far as I know, the only person to complete a PB and use the restroom during bowling.
I feel like that's not entirely accurate.
Okay, use the restroom for number 2 and still get a PB. He is the undefeated champion at that. Got a long Batoon fight there. I don't know. I think we need to know.
Karen, I think we don't. Karen getting a little troll. Batoon does not like to give the drops you need, so Karen coming through here with only 1 super is either going to have to farm at the bugs or just pray that she gets one from one of the mock droids on the way through the Coliseum.
Not necessarily, because you can just it loses some time, but maybe not as much as farming if you just 3 missile the eye.
Yeah, it's definitely an option.
Oh! Missing that happy or full happy. Not sure which Karen usually goes for, but that will cost a little bit of time and will mean that farm might have been the better strategy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Karen start killing some mock droids along the way just to see if not just the last 2, to see if she can get a second super to make that eye door a little bit quicker. And completely skipping it. Oh, wow.
Alright, yeah, going for 3 missiles there. This PJ is headed down. Alright, one of my least favorite bosses in the game is Dragon. That is exactly who Karen is taking on right now. Big Mama Shrimp. Ugh. What'll be really interesting to see here, let's hope that PJ remembers, he needs 3 power bombs to be able to X-Factor Batoon. So he's going to have to make sure to farm that. Easiest farming spot, of course, being right here with the frog. Skipping the frog, I don't know if he realizes that he's going to need 1 more power bomb here.
There are a couple faster places you can farm if you, when you're setting up the speed boost or the shine spark in Mount Everest, you can just keep speed a little bit further to the right and pick it up from a crab. And then
certainly
after
can.
That, you can do a pseudo screw in the very next room.
But you are at Lady Luck's mercy with those, because that is not a guaranteed drop.
Yeah, I believe the frogs are like 99.4% or something.
Yes. I personally, in my runs, prefer to take the frog. Even though it's an extra half second to a second, I'm guaranteed to get exactly what I need. Karen having a little bit of difficulty here. This is quite a few swoops. It's a little bit of time that PJ may be able to make up. Oh, and getting hit with the goop just as she hits Dragon, meaning we do not have a blue suit here. That will definitely cost a little bit of time.
Well, and given Karen's current health situation, not getting the blue suit may have been the best thing, because chain damage could have killed her. She was only a couple hits away.
Could have.
Yes, to the degenerates in chat, we did in fact.
It does look like he realized that he did not have enough power bombs, but it might have been too late. None of those crabs giving him what he needs, meaning this is going to be a much more difficult, much longer Batoon for PGA Mexican.
This may be for the better, because PGA still has not turned off Spazer, so wouldn't have been able to do an X Factor anyway.
That is true. So it may have been a conscious decision here. Maybe forgetting that he can, in fact, turn beams off. Alright. PGA unloading those missiles. That is a difficult strategy to hit. What do you think you'd prefer? Spazer shots or trying to hit him with missiles?
Both are approximately equally terrible.
Because he's going to need those to break the platforms. The turrets, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so PGA is most likely going to be farming from the bugs coming up here in the Batoon tank room.
That is a preferred strat of his.
I mean, with his current ammo count, there's no way to break the turrets. So
there is not. He's gonna have to farm.
Gonna have to, yeah.
Falling into the sucker stand, getting sucked right down.
As Karen is getting a replacement for the best beam in the game.
Plasma beam. Rip Spazer. Looks like PJ was trying for the happy. Oh, but he goes into a morph ball. I do not believe that was intentional. Gonna have to wibble wobble. Just like the Weebles. But he will not fall down. Exactly. Doing his best Weeble impression. Alright, Karen going through one of the most nerve-wracking rooms. Every time I hit this room, I am always worried about hitting something in there, because that just cuts so much time. It hurts so much if you hit anything in that room. Every time, a little bit of anxiety. PGA taking on Big Mama Shrimp. The run ender. Going for the spark across Big Mama Shrimp's butt, not going for that forehead.
Yeah, it looks like he just sparked a little bit early there.
I think you can definitely see the nerves playing a factor here. I know prior to the race, he had expressed that he was very nervous for his first run, and being in front of this many people, that is a definite factor that a lot of these runners have not had to deal with prior to this tournament. Going from a crowd of 5, 10, 15, 20 to a couple hundred can really take a toll on your nerves.
We've got Karen moving into the second to last leg of the game, picking up Ice Beam, getting ready to go down to Lower Norfair.
Lower Norfair, home of Ridley, who has ended a lot of runs this tournament, far more than I thought he would.
Ridley is also a jerk.
Ridley is the biggest jerk.
Karen opting to take North Route, which is slightly slower than South Route, but you save a power bomb and don't have
the power
to
bomb saving I don't understand, because with all those little blue orbs, getting those power bombs is not difficult. It looks like PJ is struggling a bit with Big Mama Shrimp. Heading across. She's making her way downtown, walking fast. Oh, and PJ does get gooped there. This is not the Dragon that he was looking to have today.
Yeah, it looks like he's pretty cognizant of his health situation and just trying not to die right now.
Down to 37. This is tense. Looks like Karen is going for the safety save here before Lower Norfair. The question is, does she know how far ahead she is, and is that the reason behind that save? Oh, with 57 health remaining, PGA does make it through Big Mama Shrimp.
It's interesting to see a save from Karen at the Lower Norfair elevator. In Old Route, generally the worst room in the game really isn't that bad because Plasma and Space Jump.
That is true. But it is a good safety save. We have seen a lot of runners here lose their entire runs because they did not make any safety saves. It'll be interesting to see here if PGA Mexican makes any safety saves or if he just goes balls to the wall and tries to make up lost time. That clean pass from that space pirate at the top there.
I believe PGA called that strat the donkey roll the other day.
That sounds like something he would say. Alright, cleanly over that space pirate as well.
Frankly, I think that needs to become the official name of that strat.
I believe it does. You really can't get any better than that. Karen just continuing to blaze through this on a fantastic pace. I do not think I have seen her timer go red in quite a while. She might be on PB pace. Despite grabbing Spazer even. It's like PJ electing to go safe here, doing some farming, getting knocked down in this room. This can be a very trolly room if you do not have your strategy set ahead of time. Going for that extra farm as well.
So looking at Karen's current time, I don't believe that she is on a PB pace, but
nope,
certainly on a
starting to turn red.
Pace. Yeah, I was looking at a probably a low 50s.
The low 50s is a fantastic run, no matter who you are. And first runner into Ridley, but that is some low energy there. For a high-end runner like Karen, or at least a low 50s runner, that may not be a difficult situation, but 230 would definitely scare me if I was here taking on Ridley. Getting some nice bounces here, though. Not getting hit too much. Ridley already looks like he is getting on his last legs. Karen handling this Ridley fight expertly. Going for that grab, and Ridley is down. That was a very, very fast Ridley fight. Skipping the Ridley tank, which is not a surprise. Alright, coming across 1, 2. Going for that farm there. Little bit more safety. That was a very fast climb. That's very precise set of inputs to be able to pull off. This looks like PJ is on his way over to get some ice.
Very nice speedball there in Wasteland.
Fantastic speedball. These three musketeers can make or break your escape, however. We got one hit already, making it past the second and the third with no difficulty, however.
Fortunately, in old route, you have plasma, so you can clip through them without a lot of issue. New route, first of all, not having various suit. Second of all, not having plasma. That's when it gets incredibly difficult.
The trolly little buggers. All right, we're going to see PGA here. I'm assuming he's going to go for Southern route. Yes, he is. As Karen is trying to make her way to Turian. Electing to tank some of these hits with that health is getting a little bit sketchy.
Hey, fortunately, getting past the three musketeers, now that you're past this point, you're pretty clear as far as health is concerned, all the way to G4.
To the Golden Girls. Doing a little bit of farming there, which is a surprise, given that health should really not be a concern up to this point.
Very possible that Karen was just trying to get a little bit of extra health because this is less than she's used to and not quite as comfortable with it.
That is quite possible. And we've got PGA taking a lava bath. About to head down into Lower Norfair.
Hey, fun fact. Did you know that if you shoot something with ice while it's in lava, it'll still freeze?
I do. Super Metroid physics. Spot on.
Thanks for the 10 out of 10 realistic experience, Dear Force. We appreciate you.
Exactly. Alright, Karen headed through Meridia. One of our runners is wet, one of our runners is hot, and everybody's trying to get the best time possible.
PGA trying to set up for a stutter there.
He has not practiced that, so that was an on-the-fly attempt.
Yeah, Stutter Spark is the fastest way to make it through here. It doesn't really cost any time, maybe a second if you don't get it, but
it is not an easy strat.
It is not, no.
Alright, here we go.
See how PGA does with the donkey roll coming up here.
Donkey roll.
The top half of the room.
Alright. Can he do the donkey roll? He does! Donkey roll confirmed! But he does fall all the way down into the rising lava. That is going to take a little bit of time.
Amphitheater is rude.
It is. We'll see. We will see if Karen goes for and achieves the swag ball here. And that is right through. Always love to see that strategy. So PGA taking it safe, headed through these key hunters, but still bodying, taking a lot of damage. Looks like he is probably going to need to farm on his way to Ridley. It'll be interesting to see as well if he takes the safety tank. We still have no safety saves, however, by PGA Mexican. Looks like he is aware of his position and wants to get that best time possible.
Karen just coming up to G4. Got about a
Golden Girls.
Got time to check the social media, you know, use the restroom, call mom and dad.
Looks like PGA was going. He was going for that Kegel, but does not pull it off.
PGA taking it pretty safe here through the Flower House. Probably looking at health and getting a little concerned with Ridley.
Ridley is a scary boss, and he, as commentator, has seen a lot of people lose their entire runs. I think that might be playing a factor here in this farm.
Karen already into the third Metroid room. PGA's just now stepping into Ridley here.
Those Metroids, one up, one down. While we've got PGA taking on Ridley. He has been far trollier than Dragon to our runners today. Looks like Karen have a little bit of difficulty with that last little bit of Metroids. Does come in, however, with perfect health. And that unintentional damage boost by PGA. Losing the frame, shooting the dust to Rizzo. And we'll see if Karen's going to get baby skip. PGA taking a lot of damage here, though, on Ridley. This is starting to get a little bit dangerous, but 245 is still a very comfortable amount of health. Looks like Ridley's just about done. Does not look like he's going to go for the grab. He's just going to finish it out, electing not to have to worry about that tail as Karen gets sucked in and drained out by Baby.
When is Baby Skip going to learn that that is no way to treat your mother?
Exactly. Although PGA looks like he is cognizant, he is just looking to finish this run, going for that energy tank, going for that 5-tank run here. Alright, Karen headed into the last leg of the run as PGA makes his way out of Lower Norfair. Should not be an issue in any way, shape, or form with that much energy. I don't believe I've had that much energy since the last time I had 4 Red Bulls in one day. It was not a good plan, let me tell you that. Karen going for another safety save here. That's 2 thus far.
Well, and Karen is probably aware of the difference in her PB compared to PGA's and thinking, I'm here, if something bad goes wrong, I want a position that I can still finish this run and have a pretty good chance of winning. Not a bad strategy considering their current positions in this race, and considering that one bad catch-up from Mother Brain, it can be all over.
I see. That's why I just always got to go with mustard. Every time you open that fridge, you see the ketchup there. It just brings back haunting memories of PV's lost. Alright, we've got PJ Mexican making his way up. Gonna head towards Bubble Mountain, then on his way to Turian as Karen takes on Mother Brain. Very good amount of health here. Can even take, it looks like should be able to take a standard catch-up to the face and still continue on, but that chain damage can be very scary. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and that will be all she wrote. Very hard to lose at this point.
Yeah, there's definitely ways you can lose time, but once you've gotten to this stage of the run, death is pretty difficult to accomplish. So Karen should be able to finish this run without issue with a pretty respectable pace, and then PGA is going to be coming up behind here before too long, making his way out of the last little bit of Lower Norfair right now.
It'll be interesting to see if either of the runners decide to go for, or pretend to go for, saving the animals.
I mean, both runners should know that saving the animals is the objectively wrong thing.
Every race I've commented so far this tournament, people have either saved them or pretended to save them. There's been at least one racer in each race who's done something to that effect. We'll see what happens.
What you're saying is you're a curse.
Exactly.
A commentator curse.
I'm just a degenerate like the entire rest of the chat here, so all of Super Metroid's gonna get kicked out of speed gaming at some point. All right, PGA headed up, about to get wet on his way up. All
Karen
right,
going into the Kappa Pride beam phase of the fight here.
the best beam of the game.
Just gonna have to unload 36 shots at the Mother Brain's face and then can escape the planet that she's then going
Just
to
gotta unload on her face. As PGA heads up through Meridia.
Looks like
It'll be
Chad's
interesting.
fighting with your degenerate comment there.
So it'll be interesting to see if he actually farms here. However, he has more health than he does in his standard runs. We'll see if he stops the farm here for safety or not.
PGA killing the mascot fish. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe facing right, that's a Sephi fish. And he just... We have Sephi here, so the fact that he killed a Sephi fish is like an attack on his honor.
I say I think we need a PGA Sephi showdown. Looks like Sephi is disowning even having anything to do with PGA Mexican at this point. Karen's still making her way out of the escape. Still gonna have a low 50s time here. Despite the safety strats and grabbing Spazer.
Looks like Karen's on a pace to have a low 52 here.
PGA Mexican having a little bit of trouble with those speed straps. Looks like we have multiple people all disowning PGA for killing that fish at this point. That may not have been his best decision.
That fish has never hurt anybody. We've got Karen coming across the finish line, escaping the exploding planet with an official SRL time of 52:18.
That'll be good enough for first place.
Well, you know what they say, Meta. If you ain't first, you're last.
That is true. No more true than in this tournament. PGA at the Golden Girls looking to finish out this run. And we do have a winner. Moving on, finishing out the race. PJ doing a little dance there. On his way downtown. Alright, so what do you think? Predictions for PJ's time at this point?
Oh man, I'm no expert. I can usually tell once we get through Mother Brain 3, but until then I'm not really good at guessing.
You gotta make the guess. You can't shy away. You are in the limelight. I'm going with a 59:30.
I'm gonna say an hour and 12 seconds.
An hour and 12 seconds. Very close times there. Let's have a good clean run. Do you think it'll make a difference if he busts out a collapsible chair on Mother Brain?
A what?
A collapsible chair.
I feel like that's not a thing, and I'm not quite sure what that reference is from.
Pretty much any professional wrestling ever.
Oh, yeah, no. I would have no knowledge of that.
I know as much as PS2 games have taught me. Let's see if PGA goes for the baby skip. I do not believe he's actually ever completed a baby skip in practice or in a run. So we'll see if he goes for it here. Clearing out the little dust buddies.
Yeah, we're gonna see if he can escape getting sucked on by Baby Skip. Baby Skip really just needs to learn that that's not like you should not.
That is not appropriate in 2018. Oh, grabbing him in the middle of his jump, just sucking him dry.
And Mama PGA is facing left, losing that 40 frames. Suboptimal.
Suboptimal. I do believe he's brought shame to his entire family at this point.
Aren't you his entire family?
I am, and I'm very shamed. It's such a shame here. Alright, we are finishing up the run here. Not too much time left. Although Zeb Skip can be quite a pain, especially when you're just going for the safety save here as well. He definitely wants to make sure he finishes this run despite having 5 E-tanks, still feeling that that's a necessary save there. We'll see how this Zeb Skip goes.
Well, and since your times matter, I imagine he just wants to avoid having the 3-hour.
That is true. Having right through one try through Zeb Skip. Looks like he's a little nervous here, making some small mistakes, taking out Mother Brain.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting trolled by the Rinkas and the turrets, but
the Rinkas can be quite trolled.
10 supers, you got plenty of ammo to deal
Oh,
with.
exactly. There was no danger there. All right. This is almost over. Gonna be very difficult to rip here with 555 energy. That's what? You can take 2 ketchups to the face and still survive?
It depends. Ketchup has a chance to double hit, and if you get
standard
hit, you can only take 1. Yeah.
How much is the maximum chain damage you can take off of a ketchup, though? I believe it is more than 2. I believe it's more than 200.
Nah, well, it depends on the suit you have. With Varying Gravity, it's only 100 or 200 if you get double hit.
Alright, this is going to be the end. Just has to clear it out here.
Okay, it might be a little bit more than an hour and 12 seconds.
A little bit more. Care to make a new wager?
We didn't wager the first time.
A new guess.
Greater than or equal to 1 hour and 12 seconds.
That's not really a new guess. That's disappointing. You are not the people's commentator.
What do you mean I'm not the people's commentator? I was cheering when they got Spazer.
You gotta go you gotta change your guesses up. You still sticking in an hour 12?
I'm gonna guess probably closer to an hour, a minute, and 20 seconds.
I'm gonna go in an hour, 2 minutes. And Beefra was saying you can get tripled by ketchup, which I'm pretty sure is actually true. I believe, because I remember that happening to me. Because I do believe I went from $5.99 in one of my early runs all the way down to $2.99. From one horribly timed hit. But this is just cleanup work here for PGA. We'll see how quickly he's able to make his escape. Going for that safe but suboptimal far right angle strats there. Missing 1 out of what, every 4 shots, I believe?
Oh, give or take.
But it is safe.
Well, as long as PGA doesn't make the objectively wrong decision and try and save the animals, he might just split the difference of our 2 guesses here.
He might. We'll see, though. He is a meme machine. Only his Platinum tier subscribers know what's going on for sure. Getting those space pirates out of the way real early. Does not want to run into those. Going for the moonfall here as well. We'll see. Will he? Won't
yeah, it's
he?
to be closer to a 101.35 to 101.40, I think.
Unless he saves the animals or tries to dunk on them, we'll see what happens. I'm thinking he might have something special in store for us here. We will see. Yup, he's going down. Is he going to save them? Is he going to dunk on them? My bets are on dunk. What do you bet on?
My money is on the fact that he acknowledged them, even acknowledging
Oh,
their
he might be
existence.
saving them. He does. He saves the animals.
This is truly unfortunate.
This is fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about. Saving the animals like a boss.
I actually am kind of curious what happens if you don't shoot the wall and let the acid rise up.
I don't know. And we have a completion there, finishing up with an official 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 18 seconds, but saving the animals, the people's champion. Let's see if we have anybody showing up for a post-race interview. Bum, bada, bum. And we have PGA Mexican here for the post-game interview. PGA Mexican, how do you feel that went?
I want to quit this game forever. Yeah.
And we have Karen joining us.
I want to see how high I can go. It's the only thing I can do is the high score.
You just gotta get high.
Sometimes, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I'm not gonna comment on this. I do not condone drug use, people. I'm just saying. But you do you.
Karen, how do you feel about your race?
Well, that's alright, I guess.
Strong words.
Karen, how does it feel to make the objectively correct decision and not save the animals?
I don't know, I wanted to finish at least a minute within my PB, so, and if I had saved the animals, I wouldn't have made that, so it was purely for pragmatic reasons.
And PG, how do you feel about making the objectively right decision to save the animals?
Oh, that was never going to be a question.
I was wondering, because you were enamored with dunking on them earlier in the week. I was wondering if you were going to save them or dunk on them.
Well, I couldn't dunk on them because you had already done that, and I thought that was pretty sweet. So unlike you, where you steal everything I do, I was like, I'm not going to steal something, so I'm just going to save them.
Well, I mean, all these people, they were here watching, and they could have been doing anything with their time. But they chose to watch you. You and Karen. Going head to head.
Yeah, that was a great job, Karen. Jeez. I'm not going to lie. I was sitting there. It took me 2 rounds And I'm like, oh my god, I have Spazer on. I'm an idiot.
Were you trying to X Factor with Spazer on?
Yeah, he had a really rough fan too because he forgot.
I have not picked up Spazer in like months. I mean, I've only been running this game for months, but it's like maybe the first 2 months I was doing it, and then I started getting sub hour, and I was like, why am I? This is like easy time to. So
I had my space strats prepared from before the match. I was like, I'm gonna turn off the Spazer on the elevator, save like 15 frames or however much it saves, and that's what I did.
Yeah. Now, how much of a disadvantage was the fact that all your practice was done drunk, PGA?
Yeah, I probably should have been, performing in the same way I practice, but you know what? I felt like that might not have been appropriate for this. So
I think that you should be performing the way you practice or practicing the way you performed.
No, if I practiced the way I performed, I would quit this game forever because I would never get better.
Drunken Recall, it's a thing.
That was an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, right?
All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, PGA and Karen, for joining us for an interview after the case. You guys have any parting words for the viewers here?
I just want to say thank you for everyone coming out and supporting my bad runs, but still sticking through. Great job, Karen, and I hope everyone else has whoever's in here that has races of their own. Good luck. I as badly as I performed, I still think it's kind of this whole thing is kind of fun. So shout outs to the entire community and the people putting it on and you guys for commenting. I really appreciate you taking the time out to do that too. So thank you.
No problem. Real quick, just want to squeeze this in here. As soon as we're done here, make sure you go check out the Moonwood race against Toasty Muffins on Speed Gaming 2. Immediately following that on Speed Gaming 2, there's going to be another race, and then 2 hours after that race starts, there will be another one on Speed Gaming 3, and that should be it for the day.
All right, and with that, thank you everybody for coming.